Sup guys, it's your boy Justin here, and I have my dog with me because she won't stop barking outside. So I have to bring her downstairs for the review. I'm gonna give her this dental stick and she'll be quiet. Okay? You're gonna calm down now? Alright, good girl. By the way, today for this X-Men month review, let me fix the camera here. It's amateur hour here. For this latest X-Men month review, today we're beginning reviewing the Epic Collection, The X-Men Children of the Atom by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Roy Thomas, J. Gavin, and who else worked on this? I know Art Simic also worked on this, and boy, that's a very obvious name, Art Simic. So this Epic Collection collects X-Men 1 through 23. This is rated, what is this rated? E for Epic. The comics are from 1963 through 1966. It goes for 50 US, 62 Canadian, 50 cents. So, before we start the review, I should warn people that there's going to be spoilers. Somebody commented, and I just happen to have this here, that somebody commented on my Batman Justice Buster Volume 2 review that, I should have warned there was going to be spoilers. You just expose yourself for the noob you are, because literally every comic reviewer / manga reviewer I know that I'm sub to spoils entire reviews. Spoils everything in entire comic book reviews. And in manga reviews as well. And not mostly because that's the easiest way to review stuff and the most entertaining way to review stuff, but we mostly do that because, especially in comic reviews, people want to know what happens in the comic reviews so they can speculate on whether or not that's going to be worth something in the future. So, yeah. So, if I don't want to hear people complain on comic book reviews or manga reviews, you spoil the whole thing. Shut the fuck up. You are, especially for manga reviews, you are going to read it on a scanlation site anyway and not spend any money. So shut the fuck up. Noob! Okay, so let's get on with this review. By the way, we already reviewed the first 11 issues of the original X-Men run on the Mighty Marvel Masterworks X-Men Volume 1 review, which had the first 11 issues, which I gave away for free at a local charity thrift store. Which I think, aren't they all like that? I don't know. So yeah, I gave that away for free because I don't give a fuck. So yeah, let's go over the art. So yeah. So the X-Men start off, which here you can see the first issue, where the X-Men starts off where it's just Professor Xavier, who's a telepathic mutant, who's the leader of the X-Men, who's rich, who decides to create a team of mutant superheroes to defend humanity from evil mutants because he's afraid, people, the rest of the humanity is going to be fearful of mutants and are going to, it's going to cause a massive, I don't want to say the R word, but it's going to cause an ethnic war, basically. So, but if you're trying to preach equality or whatnot, probably shouldn't refer to mutants as Homo superior, which they do a lot in the series. But yeah, at first the X-Men is just Beast, Henry McCoy, whose powers are he has enhanced strength and agility. You have Angel, whose Worthington the Third, whose power is flight because his wings, which he has a special harness that you can use to hide his wings. You have Slim Scott Summers. At first, they first refer to Scott Summers as Slim, whose power says he has Optic Blast, which they mostly refer to as Optic Blast as like power beams. But like there's one like issue I think during the Sentinel when they're fighting the Sentinels, which they do fight the Sentinels in here, where they refer to it as like power beams. And you have Bobby Drake, Iceman, whose powers are he can manipulate ice, freezing, whatnot. Which at first he looks like a snowman, but as the series goes on, he decides to harden his powers. So, thanks to Scott's suggestions, when he becomes leader, then he starts looking at like Iceman. So in the very first issue, they get a new member of the team called Jean Grey, who is Marvel Girl, whose powers are telekinesis. Though they refer to her telekinesis as teleportation at first. So the first issue, the villain is Magneto, whose powers are magnetism, which, holy shit, you see his power, like, not only does he has magnetism, but he has, like, in later issues, they show him he has, like, psychic powers as well. And that he's a super genius who can create, like, spaceships. Asteroid M is in this Omnibus as well, which Asteroid M is like a space station base for the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So he attacks an army base to steal the nukes, basically, or intercontinental missiles, just like the first episode of the 90s X-Men cartoon, which I still haven't seen. There you see the harness, by the way, which, that Warren uses to hide his wings. Yeah. So, which I still haven't seen the X-Men 97 cartoon. So, yeah, the first major villain is Magneto. The second major villain is the Vanisher, which his actual mutant power is teleportation, though I hear later on they changed it to invisibility. I don't know if that's true. And by the way, at first, the first couple issues, Hank McCoy was not super smart, did not have like the vocabulary. They changed that later on. At first, he basically has the same personality as Ben Grimm. So yeah, you have this guy who's basically just a thief who's trying to steal like the plans to like secret defense plans so he can sell it to the Reds, the evil Reds, which even They call, like, even Xavier calls them, like, evil, right? Like the commies or whatever. Ah, shit. I knocked over all my X-Men hero clicks, which I need to get back into that hobby. But every time I try to get into this stupid hobby, I learn the rules. Whenever I try to get into a board game, right, I end up spending months learning the rules only for them to release a new rule book. So I'm like, what the fuck? I have to learn the rules again? Oh my god. So yeah, we get this issue where we get introduced to the Blob, who's like a carny. Which this issue really shows this is one of the issues where the X-Men, created their own problems. Because if they had just left this guy alone, he wouldn't have become a supervillain. Because basically what happens is they invite him to join X-Men. He says no. So the X-Men are like, oh shit, this guy said no, we have to attack him. So he leaves and comes back with his, carny friends. So after that, he becomes a supervillain. Here we get the introduction to the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, where you got Mastermind, whose powers are illusions. You have Toad, who basically kind of has the same powers as Beast, but he's not as strong, and he doesn't have the tongue. You got Scarlet Witch, who has hexing powers, and you have Quicksilver, which they're good guys who are basically just working for Magneto, because Magneto saved Scarlet Witch's life, which she does not have a green outfit in this comic book. Why they give her a green outfit here, I have no idea. And he doesn't have a blue outfit either. So yeah, they actually end up leaving the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants later on. So that's cool. I really like this issue. So yeah, we got a bunch of issues of them fighting the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which is, and this is before like it turns out that, oh yeah, like Magneto was their father. That wasn't it at first. Then we get an issue with Submariner, where both Xavier and Magneto are trying to recruit the Submariner Namor. Which there was a couple issues where they kept changing her outfit, and then here you see like they start to like they're slowly changing like Iceman's like design, because at first you couldn't even really see his face, then you see his face, and then they changed it to like, oh, he's like ice costume. Really like this issue. This is where we see like the Magneto has astral projection powers. Oh my god, yeah, this was a good issue. Because everybody wants to bang Scarlet Witch on the Brotherhood of Mutants, including Submariner. Yeah. So yeah, we get this issue where the Blob teams up with the Brotherhood of Mutants. We get some special, like cameos or whatever. That's obviously that one guy who used to smash the watermelons, Gallagher. Then we hear like, oh, there you see the recurring non-girlfriend of like maybe girlfriend, maybe not girlfriend of Bobby Drake's Zelda. Yeah, so like people try to like gaslight that. No, Bobby Drake was always supposed to be gay. No. He had a girlfriend. So yeah. We also get this wrestler character. There's a point in the comic book where like Beast quits the team because he had a bad experience with humans after he saved like a kid. So he quits the team, becomes a wrestler, runs into this guy called Eunice, whose mutant power is like he can't be touched. He has like a force field, right? So that was a cool. And this is where basically where we show off like Hank has like technical, like he's super smart, he can create gadgets and stuff. And you also have this stupid thing where like, oh, we have to show we have to have like our heroes fight each other because they think, oh, he turned on, we got like Hank betray, they think Hank betrays the team, so they have to fight him, they don't trust him, which then again, which is wasn't that a thing that constantly happened in old Fantastic Four comic books where like the Thing would constantly betray the team? Yeah. So we get this crossover event with the crossover issue with the Avengers and X-Men, where we find out the origin story of we meet Lucifer, who is the supervillain who paralyzed the Professor, which we don't get that origin story here. And the Professor goes to confront this guy, only for this guy to create like basically a giant bomb that if someone kills him, he'll die. So the Avengers are there to basically kill this guy. So the X-Men have to stall them while Xavier figures out how to stop it. And this takes place in Europe, by the way. So it's nice to see comic books that Marvel comic books that doesn't take place in New York, because like holy shit, that's what all of them are. So we get also this issue where they go to the Savage Land and meet Khazar and Zabu, which the Savage Land is totally based off Flat Earth and not just Flat Earth, but like the what's the other fucking conspiracy theory? I can't remember. It's basically there's hidden civilizations underneath the world or whatever, underneath the ground, in the ground or whatever. So I thought that's cool, because there's a conspiracy theory that some guy, some Admiral Byrd guy went to Antarctica, went so far south or whatever that he found a new continent. So that's kind of based off of that. So yeah, then we get this issue where we get introduced to this guy who everybody thinks is a mutant, but he's actually an alien who's there to like kidnap, who goes around collecting mutants on different planets, and that's where he kidnaps like Magneto and Toad, and then and then like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch is like, yeah, fuck this team, we're gonna be good guys, we're gonna join the Avengers. So that's where we get to meet the Juggernaut, who is the the stepbrother of Xavier. He's not a half-brother like he was in the cartoon. He's not even a mutant. He got his powers finding... I was talking with like, Darkseid's comics, where he's not even a fucking mutant. He got his powers from like, a fucking magical artifact. And this was a really cool issue because... And this was like multiple issues, where I think it was like 3 issues, where like the Xavier's like, oh fuck, the Cerebral machine. This is back when Cerebral was an automatic machine that the Xavier didn't have to operate, that it could just find mutants on its own, because he needed like a substitute for himself for the X-Men to use, so he can do his like science projects or whatever, right? So like it's going crazy, and that's because Juggernaut's going to show up, and they don't even know who the Juggernaut is or what his powers are, but like Xavier's like, oh no, he's super strong, and I gotta tell you his story. But before that, we gotta lay traps for him. And this was this is where we find out Xavier's backstory, that he had a tragic backstory where his father died. This guy became his new dad, who was an asshole scientist who was just marrying his mom for the money. And while this is going on, the traps are going off, but it's not stopping the guy, the shadowy figure. And then we get the tragic backstory. Yeah. There's also a scene where like you find out like, oh yeah, you see like Professor Xavier when he's a kid, and he's like, oh yeah, when my mutant powers started to manifest, I started losing my hair. And you see like a balding like kid, and it's like, oh, that's sad. Oh my god! Here we get the Sentinels, which kind of makes no sense that they would develop the Sentinels now, because after you already had the X-Men defeat the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. They basically disbanded. Magneto's on a fucking fucked off to a different planet. So why would people be so scared to make Sentinels now? I don't know. Well, you can argue, oh, they were already in development at the time. But yeah. But this also makes no sense, because we already established in the first 2 issues that Xavier has government contacts. So it's like, wouldn't they have warned him or tell this guy, hey, you don't need to worry about the fucking X-Men, dude. The X-Men are good guys. Yeah, so we get this triple, issue arc. And I think it's after this that basically Jack Kirby left. I think this is already new artists, but Jack Kirby did the layouts. Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. So after this, it's when Jack Kirby basically leaves, and it's Gavin becomes the new artist. We also get Magneto comes back. He escapes the planet and leaves Toad behind. This is you knew we escaped, you brainless and quintessential Claude. This is where one like you belongs. No, Master, no, you can't leave me behind, Master. Come back, Master, come back. Oh, I felt so bad for Toad, but Toad's a piece of shit, a suck-up piece of shit, So yeah, basically, this is after that, the graphic novel kind of goes downhill. Roy Thomas, who's not a bad comic book writer, by the way, takes over, and it's not bad. We get the first appearance of Mimic. So Mimic's not a bad character. Oh no, Stan Lee is still writing this. Okay, because Stan Lee has to take the credit for creating every comic book character. I'm kidding. But I've heard that there's that Stan Lee that I've heard. That's a thing I heard, that Stan Lee didn't create a lot of the characters people think he created. He just basically took the credit for it. But yeah, we get this We get the first appearance of Mimic, who's like a main character in Exiles, which I love Exiles. So he's basically he's a mutant whose powers are that. Well, turns out he's not a mutant actually. He was like a science experiment. He got his powers from like fucking around with his dad's science experiments, and he got the ability to copy the talents of others. So he can even copy mutant powers, but he has to be near them. Yeah. So then we get this issues where like Unis and like Blob are pretending to be X-Men, and they're framing the X-Men, and it turns out it's a plot behind Lucifer. Lucifer is doing that. This was cool issues, and we get the origin story of how like Xavier lost his, became paralyzed, and we find out that Lucifer is actually alien. So that's cool. We get we get more. These robots work for Lucifer. Here we get like we see like here we see like Bobby Drake is like surfing on a ice surfboard, so he kind of looks like the Silver Surfer. Oh yeah. And then we get the final arc of the show of the comic book, where we get this guy called Count Nefaria. He's a European supervillain who's part of the Magia, which is basically this crime organization, who's basically wants to recruit the X-Men. And to recruit the X-Men, he has these D-lister supervillains. He enlists the help of B-lister supervillains to attack the X-Men and frame them for crimes. So you got the Scarecrow, you got the Porcupine, you got the Eel, and you got the Unicorn. So this was a cool issue. This was a couple issues. This is written by Roy Thomas, and yeah, Werner Roth did the art. Okay, the art's not bad. So yeah, this was a cool issue. So now we're going to wrap it up because the dog's barking. So basically, 7 out of 10. That's it for this review, guys. Bye.